That's some real like pop punk ass like pod start. You should do that. Do like a big slurp and then and we'll do like a.
Wait, but whatever you just. I'm gonna have to line these up because I wasn't recording it. Now I am. Okay, ready?
Oh, okay, ready. Welcome to Blink 155, the internet's slurpiest Blink 182 podcast. I'm here with Crazy Josie.
I'm eating a cookie too, a crunchy one.
What the fuck, man? Like, you were the one that told me to rush, and now you're like slurping and chewing.
Well, yeah, I was gonna have my little treat before, but then I realized
I'm the only treat that you need, right?
That's right. So, if you're all caught up on everything, we've been dropping episodes consecutively every goddamn day this week for you ungrateful pieces of shit.
Just filling you up the way that Josiah asked me to fill him up before this call
That's
started.
What I was going to say. You know that I'm now telling Sam very suggestive things to tell him he
That's
can
not
call
suggestive. That's quite direct, actually.
That could mean a number of things. Fill up my inbox. Fill up my holes.
Right, yeah. Fill up your heart with love and your brain with knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, please. I mean, that would be a first.
Right, yeah.
On this fucking show.
We're not going to change the format that dramatically 114 episodes in, so don't worry.
There's a lot going on. There's lots to talk about. We intentionally didn't catch up on the other thing we just recorded so that we could catch up now.
Yeah.
It was all down to brass tacks. What does that mean, brass tacks? Because I always think of like push pins, like tacks.
I guess it's like you've printed off all the photos of your suspects, and you've printed off photos of like their homes and their various accomplices, and you're ready to start pushing those brass tacks into the board and begin your career as a detective.
Is that? I thought it might have been like an actual tax sort of thing, like escrow or something.
Get down to brass, like the tax that goes on all brass goods.
Yeah,
the famous brass goods tax.
Exactly, and that's why everyone steals copper instead. Right. These cookies are very crumbly. They're making me cough.
This is
easily one of our worst episodes yet. What is this, number 40? We're only on number 40, right?
It's fine. There's a lot of time to go. So we had to rush. The reason that you're hoovering cookies into your bottomless maw is because big city living, now that you're not in the energy center of the country, Alberta, people don't realize this, but Quebec rations its energy. And so they're turning off the power in your building every night.
They are. And
it's
they
like
emailed
about
Syria
or something.
I was impressed, seriously. I was impressed that they emailed both of us. Like, they have both of our emails, the whatever it's called, Montreal La Power or whatever it's called. But they emailed both of us, and they're like, yo, next week we need to shut off your power from 10:30 p.m. till 5:30 a.m. 2 nights in a row. And of course, I mean, I never remember anything.
This is not the building. This is like the provincial, like power company.
I think they're doing things in the street. They're building a poutineery or something in the street.
Right.
So they need to.
For people who live outside of Canada, it's important you know that Quebec is the most corrupt place in the country, and so in particular in construction, and I'm sure that this is sort of reflected in the energy industry. You have just like it's all run by the mob. It's all like
it's so
these
cool.
weird. It's honestly so sick, and I'm not like exaggerating. It's not like Montreal was corrupt in the 70s. It's like Montreal is deeply corrupt today, and you having your power turned off 2 nights in a row from 10:30 to 5 a.m. is like something is going on.
Exactly.
Like something is absolutely going on.
Well, but except we still feel like we just moved in, and so when it went out last night, I thought, oh fuck, what did we forget to set up? Because when like many years ago, when sort of we were still learning how to be adults, I just decided not to pay our power bill for a bunch of months. Like, I had money, but I also had like a massive drinking problem, so I would just drink all the time instead of paying the bills. And right. I was like at a band practice at like 11 p.m. for a Halloween cover band, and Sarah texted me and was like, hey, why did all the power go out? And it's because I just like they like put a lock on our power box.
Holy shit.
Because I was spending all of our power money on cigs and beers. And so I had to like call a guy. I had to leave band practice early and call a guy to come in the middle of the night and like take this lock. So that's immediately.
Hold on. you didn't call the power company, you called a guy, like the way that you would get like steel cable or whatever. Like, I'm going to give you Mike's number.
I had to pay the brass tacks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. No. Unfortunately, I do. I used to never pay my cell phone bill. When I first got a cell phone, I just like didn't pay it, and then eventually my phone would get cut off. And
I'm so happy to hear that, because I also just like when I was like 20, I just like didn't pay my credit card bill for like a year for some reason. I don't know why. And then one time my entire bank account was frozen. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's my bank account. It's a different thing.
What's wrong with that? Yeah, it's not. Those things aren't connected.
No, I called a guy from the power company. And he came and fixed it, and Sarah was.
So it wasn't Mike.
Poor Sarah was in candlelight when I got home, but it was not very romantic due to how I fucked everything up. So that's immediately what I thought of last night when the power went out. But then I remembered, oh yeah, people send you emails about things, and then if you remember what they say, you will get through life a little bit easier. But the power went out when
that's filling up your brain. That's what we had like were promising to do to each other.
We had every light on. Exactly. We had every light on in the house. And so when the power went back on at 5 a.m., right. It was like full wake up call. And so I think that
Terrace House starts playing again.
Exactly. I think that won't happen tonight, except I did extremely schedule the pod during the power outage. Right. So thank you for joining me earlier, so that the mob, we don't have to deal with the mob.
You did suggest that the other option would be for you to download everything to your phone. Like, you were trying to not like push me. Like,
yeah, like basically you give me one window of 45 minutes every week with which to pod with you, and I feel guilty whenever I push it.
It's great.
Either way.
I'm so glad that I've established that sort of control.
I can't believe
life.
You're the alpha one. It's crazy.
I can't, because I show like a sort of cool disinterest that I think you.
I think you did. Those two adjectives that you just chose could not be more incorrect.
No, that's my whole vibe. People be like, "Oh, Sam, the cool disinterested one."
So, I mean, yeah, I know you're going to say otherwise. How's Montreal? The other thing I wanted to say about living in Montreal is that, like,
I was going to say I was good, man. I was clear on updates. I wanted no more information.
I'm just gonna. Then I want to talk about your big update, but the one thing I'm hating is that, like, and I feel like I can't post anything anywhere because everyone I know in Canada has lived in Montreal at one point, and they love to do this thing where it's like, say what you see, where they're like, oh, you must be at the corner of, and like, it's like so fucking irritating.
Is that a thing? I've never experienced that.
I posted a photo when we were visiting here a month ago. I posted a photo of like Sarah with a funny face filter on or something. Or no, she was just like sitting there in a cafe waiting for me to finish work, and it was very,
it's rude, but you just thought she had a funny face filter on.
Yeah, no, I can't. Maybe she did. I can't remember. We were
is
just
see what you say like a common phrase, or is this like a
say what you see? I don't know. I feel like it's like a kindergarten type thing where it's like. I feel like it's from an Adam Sandler movie or something. Okay. Anyways, I posted a photo of Sarah in a cafe where I was working. There was like no evidence of what the cafe was, but it was not a very hip cafe. It was pretty cheesy, actually. It was called the Mustache Cafe, and everything was like Burt Reynolds themed. But it was the closest place with good Wi-Fi where I could work. I was not there because... Anyways, all this is to say, it was a photo of Sarah, and someone was like, are you at the Mustache Cafe? It's like, it's just like, I don't want to post anything because everyone's going to be like doing my coordinates and being like, oh, and also this is going to sound really rude, but like unsolicited recommendations of where to try things. Like, I want to figure it out. That's the fun of it. And then what if I don't like your recommendation? Then I'm going to be silently mad at you forever.
Well, that's on you. I don't know that you need to be mad at people for trying to enhance your enjoyment of a city. And how else are you supposed to find out about things? Like, you just want to read about stuff on Yelp?
No, or just try it. I don't know. I mean, let me find out. Let me figure it out.
Yeah,
let me do something
let the boy make his
own
mistakes. I think that's fair.
Anyway, Sam, you're deaf now.
Right. Yeah. Well, we prefer the term hard of hearing, Josiah.
Right. Is that the more?
I think so. I have not waded into my new my
identity.
Yeah, but like I'm definitely stepping a toe. Off mic, I'm trying out all kinds of fucked up language to sort of see what sticks and what takes. But no, it's true. I have finally, after 114 episodes about screaming about privilege, I've finally been knocked down a peg and been given a disability. So now I can use slurs, which is. A very,
because
very
you can't hear
exciting
yourself doing it, so you're even less self-aware.
It doesn't count. If you don't hear the har, who else did? You'll never know.
I'm reading some things on a .ca website, Canadian Association of the Deaf, and they say the deaf, the capital D deaf, the deafened, and the hard of hearing are all very distinct groups. Using the proper terminology shows respect for their differences. So that's already something that we need to maybe.
We need to. Oh, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to take this on for sure.
Welcome to Blink 155.
Yeah, we should start the whole thing again.
No, tell us what's going on. You are truly having some ear issues.
I'm having some ear.
Hear me now.
I'm having some ear issues over here. Yeah, look at it's funny because we've done the last couple of episodes where I've had this thing going on, and it was one of the reasons why 2 weeks ago we had a particularly like squirrely, like we were both in terrible. We had to re-record the opening because we were both like literally too caustic. And that was a function of like I had something kind of happen in my ear where like it just sort of like popped just like only one of my ears, and then I went to a couple of doctors and was told I had something, but it was like, that was relatively minor, that would kind of go away on its own. And then eventually I was like, something's way worse. And so I was like, listen, I work for my friend Shawn Mendes. And when Shawn Mendes has an ear problem, like he doesn't get sort of two shitty walk-in doctors to be like, what's this? So I was like, who do we send Shawn Mendes to? And so like I literally got a referral to Shawn Mendes' ENT, and which is an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And I have this thing called like sudden sensing, or I have no idea how to pronounce it, hearing loss, where like literally I just like in a second, like related nothing to my overall health. I just lost like I had severe to moderately severe to severe hearing loss in this one sort of specific frequency band in my one ear. And this happened. So I like went in to this doctor and it was like, yep, okay, so you have this is what you have. I got given a whack of drugs for the hope of like recovering some of my hearing in this one ear. And this was all happening the day of the premiere of this film, this Robbie Robertson film that we've also been joking about across all these episodes that like I've been working on for like 3 years, and we were opening TIFF with this movie, and I literally went from like a doctor being like, I'm giving you all of the drugs in the world. They're going to make you absolutely insane. And maybe your hearing will come back. And maybe like I had this screaming tinnitus going along with it. Like I couldn't like hear myself think. Like I was just like, I'm going fucking crazy. And he was like, all of that could be permanent. And I was like, okay, sick. And then I like got in a cab. I went and spoke to the entire company that I work for because we're having a big town hall that day. And then I like went down to the Shawn Mendes show to like work on some stuff there, and then I like went and got into a suit and I went to this fucking premiere, and the whole time I'm like, I'm losing my hearing, like just in my mid-30s, like, which is
forgive me
terrifying.
forgive me for making a Gen X joke, and I don't actually mean it, but perhaps the hearing loss made the Shawn Mendes concert a little bit more easy to sit through.
Totally, bro. And so in the interim, and I warned you about this, I've been like loaded up on like a horse amount of like this steroid that's designed to try to like stimulate the recovery of my hearing or whatever. And it's made me like, it's like, insomnia, your stomach gets all fucked up. But the most exciting part has been like the mood swings. And so I'm like crying at everything. I cried at the Shawn Mendes concert. I was like, it's got in his blood.
Perhaps you were crying because you could hear the...
Yeah, it was the first sign that maybe my hearing was going to be okay.
So you're saying you've had stomach issues, you've had insomnia, and you've had mood swings, and now I'm starting to wonder if I've accidentally been taking those pills for most of my adult
Your
life.
entire life, yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's funny, I was just talking to Ashley about this, is like, I don't want this stuff to be belly aching, but it's like, this is a very honest pod, but it's been an insane 2 weeks for both of us. You've had this move, you've had all this stuff happening. Like, I have had this great high of this premiere and this like sort of weird low of trying to figure out like, if like I'm gonna have proper hearing in my left ear, which like as and probably anyone who listens to this podcast knows is like, and I don't know. And anyway, it's made me like very like I've already tried to be like a pretty like aware of my good fortune, but having something like this happen and all things considered, it being like relatively minor in the scheme of like potentially fucked up things that can happen to your body and your health, like I mean extremely minor. you know, I don't know.
But anyway, you also had those like mouth warts the other week too. Yeah. I mean, you're really going through it.
Right. My body's like mostly like very sick and very tight, but also extremely falling apart and like full of sores.
But hey, without it, life's so boring.
That was. I wasn't like that. That wasn't funny. It was just like, what the fuck was I doing?
No, it's very funny to me when you get into the you talk even quicker and start sort of like debating yourself over whether you should be saying it or not. I'm into it. Okay. I like it.
Okay.
It was as if you had said a slur, except you were just talking about your own hearing issues.
Yeah, but it's like
possibly insulting the hard of hearing community,
and the deaf community. And what was the third one?
Well, there's capital D deaf, and then there's deafened.
Right. Okay. No, it's people who are born without hearing. That's what it is. Because I like.
Oh, and then there's people who are in deaf heaven as well.
Right. This is actually 4 categories of it. Yeah. Jesus Christ. What do you think about this song?
You were promising me mood swings, and you have not been delivering.
The mood swings have been mostly. I mean, I think right now you're getting. I'm in a swing right now. Swings go up and down. Like.
Swing, swing.
That was was that the one with the Move Along had the cool video.
I mean, they're all pretty good, and that band is sick, but the singer just gives me the creeps.
Is he canceled, or does he just look like he should be?
He just seems canceled.
Yeah. Like when I think of that video in my mind, I'm like, too bad we can't enjoy that song anymore.
While you're saying things about the hard of hearing community, and we're saying potentially problematic things, I've been wanting to tweet forever, but I feel like I shouldn't tweet it because someone's going to get mad at me. But that a hospital should introduce a cancel ward for people who have been canceled.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But anyways,
but don't do that.
No, I won't.
So listen, I'll be in a bad mood like for sure by the end of this episode. So don't worry. You'll get the swings. But I feel like unfortunately, my wife has been enduring the brunt of me. Like last night, I was like couldn't get literally it was like I couldn't get the food that I wanted for dinner, and then I just didn't want anything.
That's like okay. I think you've just become a normal human being at this point.
Right.
You finally shed your optimistic outlook on the world. Now you're gonna one thing you definitely shouldn't do is watch the news because you're gonna see that things are much. It's like you've been wearing the opposite version of the They Live goggles that have just been making everything seem even more wonderful.
Things are so good. Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna stay off the internet for a while. So the song "Life's So Boring" by the band Blink-182. Josiah, tell me how you feel about this. Have you listened to the song before, tonight?
I must have, because I was obsessed with the demo for a while. Ooh. As we know, that's my pretentious Blink-182 take. Is that
right? Yeah,
the best Blink-182 release of the Enema of the State demo? So I must have heard it before. So
was this released with that, that batch of songs or whatever? Like when you downloaded that off of fucking Kazaa or whatever. Would you get this song too?
I think, but yeah, that's the thing. I don't really remember. And I think when I was really getting into this was the era where you just type the name of the album and then type Mediafire into Google and then you get it. That was like the golden age of music. There's going to be a documentary about that one day where it's 100 gecs are going to be but it's going to be like when 100 gecs are really old, but they're going to be talking man, I was just 13 back then, and you would just type in Mediafire. It was a whole world out there, man. There was untapped potential. It was all there for and
just like the way every classic rock
Ian
doc
Mackay's head in one of those Futurama tanks comes out.
The warm crackle of Mediafire.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that was the time. But I don't really remember this one standing out to me too much. But then again, I think there is more than I realized a time where I was just sort of casually interested in Blink-182 and fond of the memory of them, but not actively freebasing it at all times. Right.
Yeah, I had never heard this. You literally had to send me the YouTube video. This is what we're doing because you knew I probably wouldn't have found it or whatever. Yeah. And so for people like me who are unfamiliar, this is an instrumental demo from the Enema sessions, which has, like, at least in the YouTube link I've seen, because it's sort of detached from anything that people can really relate it to, like tons of sort of seemingly mysterious origins. Like, is it Scott playing drums, or is it just Travis playing drums to sound like Scott because he was otherwise playing things that Scott had written or songs that were written in the Scott era? Like, obviously we recognize, from a facts standpoint where this is from, but it seems that there's like no small amount of like confusion about this song online.
Yeah. So, okay, here's everything that's on the demo. Aliens Exist, Anthem, What's My Age Again, Dumpweed, The Party Song, Dysentery Gary, Man Overboard, Life's So Boring, and Wendy Clear. Like, that is a huge fucking demo. They were like ready to go with
crazy.
this.
So, okay, maybe you're going to get to this, but have they ever talked about this? Like, were there ever lyrics written for this song? Was there ever a melody, or is this straight up just like totally unfinished?
I'm not going to lie. I've been hiding from the mob all day.
Right. I forgot about your dangerous new Montreal lifestyle.
I'm going into this one, no research. Fully unprepared. We're doing this together.
Of the pod now?
Okay, come on.
I relied on you. Are you
the
recording
dust
through
has
your
finally
fucking
settled
MacBook
on that
mic
one.
Again?
I better double check that I'm not. No, I'm not. By the way, if there's anything that you're confused by on this show so far, it's because you're not subscribed to our Patreon. Patreon.com/Blink155.
Yeah, or maybe you just haven't listened to like 350 hours of this podcast. So, one or the other.
Yeah. If that's the case, I don't know how to help you.
No, you're fucked.
I think they have, because I just was searching it, because I was also wanting to just search the phrase because it's such a good phrase. But when I did, it came up on Reddit. Someone has shared. I guess this is Mark Hoppus talking about why it's not on there. Maybe. By the way, when you said "Okay, I'm ready" before I said to fill me up, you spelled "ready" wrong. I just want you to know.
That was like a joke. I wanted you to read it like that.
But how could you mispronounce "ready" without the A? Like, that's, if anything, it's more
ready.
phonetic.
It was like that.
It's more okay. So this link also doesn't work.
Yeah, I was like, video no longer available because the YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated. When did you do the research for this song? Like, how rapidly is YouTube?
No, like, I'm
accounts?
doing it right now. That was me clicking it for the first time, bro.
Oh wow, bro, that's crazy.
So, but there is a ASCAP listing for it.
Really?
Okay, wait. This can't be right. This is fucked. Because, okay, you were just saying that thing about how, like, it's unclear who drums on the song. And when I listened to this earlier, I'm like, okay, I used to be sort of like flirting with the idea that it could be Scott on some of them. But obviously, then when I listen to this, I'm like, even just like the playing is more snappy, but even the snare tone and the cymbals are like so clearly Travis. Like, it's so ska background and not cool guy drumming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you look at the ASCAP logo,
what?
It's credited to Mark Hoppus and Scott Rayner. How does that make sense? I mean, is this the sort of thing that anyone can add shit to, or
maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's like I'm gonna look up, like, I guess, other Blink songs here and see, like, look up other old Blink songs. But that's like, this is the official ASCAP website, so I don't know why that would be wrong. I mean, here's the question, and God, we should probably know this, but like, who wrote most of the drum parts on Enema? Like, we know Travis plays on the demo, and there's without a doubt stuff in there that's like not very Scott-like, but it does make sense potentially that like he was involved in the writing of these songs, right? Because there are videos of him playing Enema songs live before he left, right?
Yeah, well, okay, the thing that's in his book, which is why I keep telling you to read it, it's like basically you need that book to just get through life. It's a guide to living. It's basically The Secret.
Yeah.
He says that he didn't actually get songwriting credits until the album after. So, and it's weird too. I feel like probably they were just kind of dumb back then and didn't even think that the drummer deserved a writing credit, maybe. Like, I feel like if I was in like a teen punk band and then I got famous, it would take me a while before I realized, oh yeah, I should probably give the drummer some, so to speak. So maybe that's why. But for some reason, either way, he just got paid like a one-off performance fee on Enema, and then he was like, "Wait a minute," and then I don't know if he's like fought back to get royalties from that album or whatever. But since then, after that was when they started Viking Wizard Eyes or whatever, and he's a third of the songwriting credits now.
Huh? Yeah, it's funny. Like songwriting credits are. It's funny. Like this is a huge subject in like for anyone who's familiar with the backstory of the band. Like this is a huge part of the film that we mentioned a couple times. But like this is also just like the thing that drives every band apart. And like we've seen this with like I feel like I can't name any names, but like there was a band that we knew where when they started off, right?
I don't know who you're talking about. Actually,
I'll give you a hint. There's some Chris's in it. Actually, I think this is a Chris-free band. But like when they started off, they were like, whatever, teens. And it was like, okay, there are 5 of us. Songwriting just goes 5 ways. It's fine. And then when you actually start realizing the sort of significant difference in how much money you make if you write songs versus you don't write songs, and if you feel like, hey, I actually do write more of the songs, all of a sudden it's like, well, I want 50 and the rest of you guys split the other 50 4 ways. And that is like more often than not the thing that actually breaks bands up is like you have 2 guys that are getting rich as fuck and 2 people that are like getting no money. Because they're just like making their money for like being in the studio and being on tour.
I also feel like you notice that when a band hires extra members, and you can just like tell that the backing musicians are like broke compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
like they're
totally.
getting a day rate and they're just standing on stage looking like they're like kind of doing debit math in their head to figure out if they can afford to take out cash after or something.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's just like this panic in their face where it's kind of distracting from the show. I do not know what band you were just referring to, though.
I'll tell you in the chat.
But it's also interesting that Tom's not credited on here.
Yeah, so like I guess early on, and I think this is probably like we've talked so much about like Blink as a organization, Blink as a company that needs to sort of just they're paying themselves, but they also have staffs. Like it's an organization that needs to be kept afloat like any fucking company. But the fact is, like doing the thing where they incorporate this new company and everyone owns a third is like kind of the only way to guarantee that you stay a band forever, because money will, as long as like people don't start resenting each other because they feel like they're working more. It's like literally the only way to level that playing field and ensure that the resentments that break up every band like don't do it. And so it's funny that they came to that realization like later on. Early on, clearly it's like, okay, well basically Mark and Scott wrote this song, so they'll get the money for that. And then eventually just like, fuck it goes 3 ways, or who cares?
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. So, but then again, maybe this does explain it. So do you know how to use this website? ASCAP?
I've never used this website before in my entire fucking life.
I thought that maybe you ran it or something.
Through your
job.
I do work for. I just looked up dump weed.
Because that would be interesting. Maybe Scott is credited as a writer on some of these songs, even though Travis is performing them on the demo.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't find damn it. I don't know how to use this website, man.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. I don't know why you coded it like this.
Well, that's the problem. Is like you can't code it. You can't do all the things that I try to do well. You just kind of do them.
Yeah, like you did not need to add a messenger internally on that website where you can give each other gold for some reason.
No, but it's just like it's a way of just sort of keeping people online and keeping them engaged, right?
Yeah, but then it created a new strain of mental illness in people that were getting addicted to the ASCAP website. And that kind of traces back to you.
Yeah, but like in the end, I think like most people agree that it's like the information that they get from the ASCAP website is like we're more connected to each other and to music now through ASCAP than we were before. It's push and pull, man. Push and pull.
And scene. Yeah, so where are we? I mean,
we're talking
about
like what the fuck happened with the song, who wrote it, were there lyrics?
There's a video of Mark Hoppus talking about it, and the coward YouTube user has decided to remove it. So who the fuck knows? I think listening to it, though, you can kind of figure out why they didn't keep it, because it's like insanely generic. You know what's funny is it's like so forgettable, and it could easily be like some Napster like Blink-182 sound-alike thing where a band just tricks you into downloading their mediocre pop punk right up until kind of like the bridge. Like there's that guitar part that they use and then it comes back again at the end that is like so sick and sounds like such like you're like this would have been such a cool Enema era bridge. But even though like bass part is so reminiscent of other Blink things, the actual like chords in the verse and chorus are like
you're like, oh,
Yeah,
is
they're
this
so lazy.
It's so generic, but that part, that guitar part, is so fucking sick that it like I listen to that, I'm like, I wish this was part of our experience of this album. Like just that part, like I wish that they had put that in a better song. But otherwise, you're like, that is some quality control at work, I think.
Well, I think like the bass at the start was basically repurposed for "Story of a Lonely Guy."
Yeah,
but it's also such a generic bass part that it's not even worth noting that in a way.
Yeah,
even though I just did, but
well, we got all this time to kill,
Exactly. But yeah, I hate that chord progression. How it just climbed, like it's just going up the scale. It's so generic and shitty. But then it got me thinking, like when there's Tom singing over top. Or Mark even does that elevate these shitty chord progressions, or is that still too generic? Because I do feel like they try to, when they're on the top of their game, they still try to add one little flourish to make it not just climbing a major scale.
No, I think that's it, and I think we've talked about that a lot, and this just felt so. I had the same thought where I was like, wait, if they were singing over this, would I think this was good? Because otherwise, like, and obviously that fundamentally changes how it sounds, but like, it's just so like nothing. Like it's so like a high school fucking band could have strung those chords together. Like there's just nothing new about it. And we have pointed that out before, where like they'll do something that feels like it's been done 1,000 times and do the kind of like one interesting thing, and then have the cool like hammer on riff, and you're like, brilliant. And this sort of has pieces of that, but mostly it's like, yeah, this is. I think it's just a little too generic, even for like the sort of really specific thing that they were doing at this time.
Yeah, I mean, having said that, I feel like calling a song "Life's So Boring" is fucking awesome, and especially when I was first getting into going deep as an adult on Blink-182 was around the time that like Waves was blowing up, and like Waves basically turned saying that you're bored into a new wave of like major label punk. And I think that that's like interesting to think in 1998 they had a song called "Life's So Boring," and I feel like that phrase alone is so good. It's so like meaningless and vague, but also like an actual real feeling that you feel.
Right, and I love that like they've, I guess, followed the sort of Waves trajectory as well, in the sense that like there's no way one of the guys in Blink isn't a landlord. Right?
Right.
Like this is extremely landlord core.
Well, I guess maybe when you are bored and feel that suburban ennui, eventually you stop playing Monopoly, the most boring game of all time, at home, and start just doing it IRL, collecting properties, putting a house on there, putting the next thing on there, getting in a big fight with one of your best friends because they lied to you about how much cash they were giving out.
Yeah, classic Monopoly in real life. Yeah, it's I don't know. There's something so like, and it also like when you talk about the kind of like suburban ennui thing, there's something so like, privileged about the idea of like being alive and having so few problems that you're bored. And it also like can only happen when you're kind of like a certain age and everything is taken care of for you, because like I feel like it'd be hard to be bored in your 30s, with all of the power outages happening and couches that you need to order and stuff.
Honestly, I get so bored when I'm like, I hate having a day off. Like I hate having a day where I'm not doing something, even if it's something as stupid as this, because I just get like so restless.
Oh my God. I love like when I get like a chance to like just watch like 3 movies in a day and like not leave the couch. It's like I get so stressed about enjoying those days that like sometimes like I can almost like ruin them by wanting to relax right and worrying that I'm not relaxing. But yeah. I love to just like have that's surprising. So you don't want just like to sit on the couch for 12 hours.
I feel this weird guilt. I mean, I do that, but I do that, but then as I'm doing it, I start like thinking I should write an album today, or like I just right. like I get this like frustrated feeling. So I hate feeling bored, but I still get bored really easily too. I don't know. It's weird.
I just don't like standing in a line. That's when I get bored.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you don't really get bored, and I also feel like you're always like flying overseas to debut some secret project at all times.
Yeah, that's it. You know me, secret project flyer man. So it's hard to get bored with all the jet setting for sure.
But I also think it's like pretty it's kind of like teacher's pet to make people feel guilty for feeling bored. Even though I agree with you, it's like a symptom of privilege, but it's also no less of a real thing. I mean, that leads to depression, which leads to other things. You know, it's like it's valid to be bored, and it's just really funny that like.
I didn't realize I was like erasing boredom, but you're right. I should be more sensitive to God, all the bored community. Yeah, this is
exactly. No, but it's kind of like if you think about it, that's why we like Blink, because it's relatable.
No, totally.
To like to this extreme like Costco Kirkland lifestyle.
I'm just thinking like how sick it is to call other things boring. Like, think about the idea of like, you know, a kid in an assembly yelling out that something is boring. Like it's so like weirdly juvenile and cutting.
Yeah.
Like to just be like, I'm bored. Like it's so sick. Again, maybe this is a community that I have more appreciation for than I realized.
The bored community. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, it's a really good phrase. I also wonder why they chose to contract life is to life.
Yeah.
That seems like a very deliberate thing.
Especially for what it ultimately turned into an instrumental demo. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Just like it was really important to have that contraction because life is so boring is somehow totally different than life's so boring.
Also, like, yeah, writing a song called "Life's So Boring." They should have finished it no matter what. And I can't. Yeah. I'm searching while we talk. I can't find another upload of the video of him talking about it. But like, I would absolutely love to know why they scrapped it, because I'd love to hear what they have to say about life being so boring.
Well, that's the thing is like, I get that you're right. We should recognize boredom as a state, you know, a thing that people feel. But just, okay, so it's not like school is so boring, this movie's so boring, you know, like, Friday night, I'm all alone, I've got no friends, I'm bored. Okay, fine. Yeah, definitely, you know, that's boring. But like life, you know, the one shot that we have on this earth, right?
Exactly.
Do with it, you know, not that it's hard or that it's sad or that it's miserable or that it's painful, you know, or any other things that I think like, you know, you feel as you sort of trudge through, you know, whatever your existence looks like. But just the idea of like, I'm fucking bored by what? By living. Like, it's not a boring assembly. It's like a boring like existence.
That's actually so beautiful in a way. It's like a beautiful flex.
Yeah,
it's so nihilistic.
All of those I'm saying. It's
like no matter what you do, no matter what feats you achieve, no matter what, it's still boring.
Yeah, like again, if you were giving a speech and I was in the crowd, like boring, you'd be like, "Fuck," you'd be hurt. Now imagine that I was saying that about like, imagine you were God and it was
what
like,
situation would I be the one giving a speech?
You're giving like a TED talk about like internet communities and. Yeah.
Welcome to my TED Talk about cum.
Yeah, I feel like TED Talks are definitely like, no offense to you, but offense to TED Talks, scraping like really the bottom of the barrel in the last like decade of whatever, whoever they're having do whatever.
Ever since the Sam Hyde one.
Yeah. And so if you did a TED Talk about cum, like, dude, there must be TEDx Montreal. Dude, this is fucking it. Oh my God, you're doing a TED Talk about cum.
You know what's funny is, and I decided not to do. I thought it'd be funny to do it, but then I realized that it would absolutely not be funny because no one who would find it was funny would be there. But I was invited to do some sort of thing like that in Calgary, but it's like you talk for 5 minutes about any topic you want, and it's like 10 different influencers at the library. Do you know what I'm talking about? It has like some quirky name.
No, some sort of like a hall, something like that, or like a
yeah. I'm going to try to find this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I talked to someone who's been on this pod before, actually, who is my friend that knows this kind of community of people, and he was like, do not do this. It'll be horrible. So you're sending me the TEDx Montreal thing. I mean, maybe I could.
It would be like this would be a pod event. Like if you did, I honestly think that like Ted would do a cum talk. Like I do at this point, because you'd make it not about cum, right? It'd be like, oh, it's actually about life and how boring it is.
Cum, yeah, I mean that's true. Cum is life.
Cum is life. If you just had like one of those little mics on and you just came out and you were like,
I would.
You can't see me, but I'm spreading my fingers like in front of myself right now, and I'm kind of looking at the audience and they're waiting.
Listening.
And then you go, cum, and everyone titters, and you go, I know, I used to titter too.
Titter. Tit.
It's just
Turd. What if I just say like childish cusses?
It's a word association.
Yeah.
Just come
Maybe I
tit
should
and
do
turd.
a free poetry, free jam
I
instead.
bet there's still poets in Montreal.
Okay, what you just said, I'm pretty sure is a Leonard Cohen quote. I'm pretty sure there's still poets in Montreal. Come.
It would be so good. You'd be on their YouTube. Oh my god, dude.
I mean, if you want to start booking me on shit, I'm down.
I do. Well,
I just don't want to fill out
for
the
how
forms.
to apply. Well, you can't. I don't think you can participate in. I don't think anyone wants
I
TEDx
think
Montreal
you should
women
be
for
my
you to talk
agent.
about. I will. There is space available at TEDx Women Montreal. So if anyone in the nation in Montreal who feels that they can speak at TEDx Women Montreal, then and you want to talk about cum, we'll support you. So
What the fuck is this thing that I was invited to do? I need to find. Oh, okay. Wait, is this it? No. I have too many emails.
this
Now I'm
feels,
just
this has
looking at
like
my
real
email.
Sclusy energy with you just like live searching your own email.
Exclusive first. I should be able to find it because I got like 50 follow-up emails because I kept brushing them off.
Oh.
I can't remember. It has like a quirky name, and you just talk for 5 minutes about something that's passionate to you.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We heard that you have all these followers on your Blink-182 podcast," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna fucking talk at the Calgary Library to all these nerds."
You definitely should have. You definitely should have. This is
Like,
why didn't you
guaranteed
tell me this? This
every
feels like it should have been a
single
pod
person-
decision.
Every single person there guaranteed talked about bike lanes, and then I would have been like trying to explain all this other shit.
Come.
Come.
You talking about fucking cum in the Calgary Library while people talk about urban renewal or something is like I would have come out to Calgary for that. That would have been like I would have paid my own way.
I don't think you would have.
If you were talking in the Calgary Library about cum and the
5
pod
minutes.
for 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to find the Mark thing, but I'm sick of this shit. So instead, I've while you've been nattering away, I've opened up a million YouTube videos that have life and boring in the title. So I think we should check some of them out.
Let's see what other people's take on the boredom of life is.
So this one is called "Why Is My Life So Boring?" It looks very artistic, actually. Or maybe it's a song. It's uploaded by Road Coqueeper.
Real bare naked ladies vibes here. I'm bored in the shower. Every morning when I get up and I brush my teeth, I'm bored in the morning. When I eat my toast and I don't eat the meat. This is Montreal, dude. That's the Montreal. That's the Metro. These are your people.
That's my landlord from the mob.
Fucking,
I think we're missing some really good lyrics.
Oh,
I think
I
this
thought you were
kid
singing in French.
It's weird when like a little kid has like funky Jack Johnson energy.
I know.
It's
You know what's
very
gonna be so weird?
uncomfortable.
This again. So this is like filmed in your home. It's starring your landlord. Like you're going to be on the Metro in a week, and you are going to see Rodko Kuper, and you're not going to know what to do with yourself.
I mean, somebody has commented that it's the Netherlands, but maybe that's a neighborhood here.
Yeah, the Netherlands of old Montreal.
Man, it's so dark. So, by the way, this is from 10 years ago. And Gbus 00000 6 years ago wrote, "My life is way more boring than any of yours and sucks, too. I live in a slum with a fucked up grandmother. Both me and my mother are alcoholics. What do you know about life, kids?" I mean, it's just like a little kid talking about this, and you're going to tell them all this shit?
That was good. That was from 6 years ago. 5 months ago, Bart Brink checking in. Is your life still boring?
I'm going to reply as the pod. Oh, wait. What's
What's
going on? I'm on my other computer. Everything's all fucked up here. I'm probably still talking into my internal mic.
When are you getting like a new computer? Like when is the
I don't know.
UPS
UPS is
store?
taking their sweet ass time.
They don't respect the pod. We should.
They don't.
I don't understand how the nation was so keen to attack Indy 88, but UPS still unscathed a week later.
Oh no, Poli-Sci Alex was getting into it with them, but all that happened was they started tweeting at me asking me to open up a case, and I'm like, I already did. You just gotta. But yeah, I agree. The pod should keep bugging UPS, please. Keep bugging them. I think it's probably going to end up worse for me in the end if we do a targeted harassment on them, but whatever. It's fine.
Only one way to find out, which is to targetedly harass someone.
Life is Boring by the Clown 456. I don't know what this is. It looks like an
It's a member of Slipknot.
So these are all songs, too. I mean, everyone wants to sing about how they're so bored. I'm getting depressed watching this.
Yeah, maybe, I gotta be more sympathetic to boredom.
The bored community. Oh, I'm so bored.
It looks in my mind, this is what Tom York solo music videos look like.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
You know what I mean?
It's like Fitter Happier without any of the good parts.
Yeah, totally. Oh, his partner called him, texted him, said, "I love you too."
Some hearts.
Oh, now he's in color. Now it's bad. This is like hard arrows pointing at his dick.
This is like that Xavier Dolan movie where it goes from square aspect ratio to widescreen at the end, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, so deep!"
Incredible, the clown.
Wow, that was powerful. Life is boring.
Life is boring. Now I'm really thinking more though about the philosophical. Just like the concept of boredom, right? This seems like something that we need Fiona on, because I'm not capable of engaging. But you're right. Like the idea that it's easy to say okay, boredom comes from privilege, but that's not true at all. But it also is a sort of. I mean, it can come from that. I don't know. So I'm so intrigued now.
We needed them to write the song, so I
need Blink to explain the nature of boredom to me.
Well, instead, why don't we get Don Shaw, the life coach, to answer us? Why is life so boring? So this is Don Shaw. He's going to reveal his hottest tips as a personal life coach, and he's from Tel Aviv, Israel. So here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Don Shaw. I'm a personal life coach, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why does a friendship or a relationship or a job becomes boring and sags. And what do you do? So, we all know that friend that we've been friends with for many years. And
we can make fun of Israeli accents, right? That's like an Australian thing where we're just allowed.
We don't really see each other anymore. Or the woman who's been in a relationship for 20 years and she feels that it becomes monotonous and boring.
Monotonous.
Same thing.
Wow.
Or
being monotonous
sucks.
Did he just say monotonics?
Oh, yeah. This is the drummer from the Monotonics.
Why is he also in a kitchen? Everything's so professional, and then he went in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So
it's like a fine kitchen, but it's mostly very functional, yeah.
You just can't stand it anymore. So usually when that happens, we kind of invent, reasons for it or justifications for it, or we justify in some ways, and we say, oh no, I'm lazy, or I became lazy, or this guy's not for me anymore, or I grew older a bit, or
I feel like this is a guy who was broken up with. He's like, you think you don't like me, and you're like, I don't, but that's not true. You love Don Shaw, personal life coach.
Yeah, you're bored, and that's okay. Come talk to me in the kitchen.
Life sucks.
I really now want to get deep into
personal life
coach Twitter or life coach YouTube. I mean to say,
yeah.
I think that there's a lot of potential in there for me.
Well, okay, let's keep going. This seems like a rich vein for you to tap into.
The thing is, all of these videos are not people saying life is boring. It's people pleading, trying to understand. So there's another one called "Why Is Life So Boring?" uploaded by Serena Bina in 2013, and she says, in this video I quote unquote explain why is life so boring. Haha, not really. I just talk about life being bored. I talked about my hair too.
Oh, well, I'm interested.
I have a new subject that I want to talk about, and we as the people shall talk about.
Look at this. She's got pretty sick nails.
These are why is life
Like this is like an 8-year-old girl with like
everyone's
crazy turquoise
every time I'm
nails.
texting someone, they're like, I'm bored. I'm like, I know, me too.
Have you noticed how people who vlog about being bored don't do it in a traditional bedroom setup?
No, yeah, she's definitely
life is so weird.
in the
Life is so
bathroom.
boring. Like I'm sitting here making a video. It is kind of boring because it's in my room. We need something exciting in life. Something in life shall be exciting to us. Don't you think? We need something fun and exciting. Except for the girl with non-showing purple hair talking to a kid.
All right, I don't want to hear this fucking. I don't care what a kid has to say. You don't know shit about being bored, you little
Right.
brat.
Yeah. I want to tap into some real boredom.
Yeah. Well, actually, okay. Well, I'm gonna actually do some live editing on the fly.
Wow.
Okay, let's do this one called "Life's So Boring." I don't know what this is. This looks like some sort of. Oh, there's a kid in it in the Max Res, but it opens with like a black hole exploding at the start.
Oh, sick.
This has 20 reviews. It's by Kings Supreme, and it's called "Life's So Boring!" 2 exclamation marks. Oh, it's just like a sick intro.
Yeah. It's like a sick intro like filmed on their phone.
It's just a kid in the car, probably.
There's like, maybe some adults talking in the front seat that they're shaking their heads at. And now bored at home.
Yeah, just like shaking their head into the camera and being like, I'm so bored.
Damn.
Oh, they did the sort of, what's it called where you like exhale boredly? And you go, kind of
What is that called?
I'm sure like some fucking shitty novelist spent 3 pages explaining what that is.
Yeah. I mean, how could you be bored with a great YouTube handle like Kings Supreme?
I mean, good question. Okay, this one I think is really good. How's your newfound meds fighting with the vaping various substances?
Oh, the vaping has vaping is allowed, and vaping is like I have never been. It's like I just discovered weed again. Like I have been so high all the time. It's been great. Like you talking to my mom, I was like, has cannabis like helped at all? And I'm like, oh yeah, like it's. I'm not even like trying to be cool about it anymore, which I know I have been the rest of my life.
You're always.
I don't like to talk. I'm not
you're trying to be cool.
I'm not one of those weed people that is always talking about weed. Sorry, I'm just thinking like King Supreme earlier had a video, everything goes by so fast. And it's like, maybe that's part of the rich tapestry of life, right? It's either like, you're not getting a chance to stop and smell the roses, or like you don't even give a shit about the roses when you do get time. It's, wow. Living is complicated.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, perhaps we could learn a thing or two from the youngins.
Nah.
But back to the weed. This one is about how life is boring without weed. 21-month anniversary from Brother Without Order.
Oh,
this guy has what I would call like an extreme beard.
Yeah, extreme facts and logic channel. Like, there's no way. There are 100 vlogs on here about how like Anita Sarkeesian doesn't really like video games.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just guessing.
I mean, you're guessing.
He's called Brother Without Order, and he has an epic beard.
Let's hear what he has to say about life being boring.
November was my 21-month anniversary off of marijuana. And this month's video is going to be about people that have written to me and
I think he's in the bathroom again. That's what I'm saying.
What is up with
these
quitting
weed?
Bathroom energy, boys.
Because life is boring without it. And I have a different perspective on that. The problem is not that life is boring without weed. The problem is that what you did while you were on weed is boring. That's where the problem lies. Trust me, there are millions and millions and hundreds of millions of people who are not on marijuana who have no feelings that just because they don't get high, their life is boring. If you used to play video games all the time, and now when you try to play video games without weed, you're bored, so you assume it means you need to get high. No, it means you just need to stop playing video games because they were never stimulating to you in the first place. They were only stimulating to you because they worked with the weed. If you find that...
Doesn't this make you want to smoke weed, Josiah? Like, come on.
Honestly, kind of does. I mean, I will say, when I quit drinking, I did find a new level of boredom in life.
You know what? I believe that. That's true. But
then it becomes comforting where you're like, oh, wait, it's actually not boredom. It's that every day is kind of the same, and I don't wake up feeling like I've been clubbed over the head with a baseball bat. I just sort of wake up and just feel sort of a more calm dread.
So I'm having some trouble parsing kind of Brother Without Orders worldview. He
talks like a Southern preacher.
Yeah, he has a lot of videos about being off of weed. And the only things I can see in terms of like potentially his like politics are his second most popular video, what I just learned about black people in early, and then there's an ellipsis because the title's too long, so hard to know where that one goes.
He has a video also called "I Have Herpes" 4 weeks ago.
He also evidently, like, this man was cutting a lot of stuff out of his life. 5 months no porn masturbation update.
He also his beard is not always there.
No. Let me see. Quitting weed was just the beginning. Day 50 off weed. The dark side of porn. After 92 days, I want to get high. Damn it. How to treat hemorrhoids. So, why hate Jews?
I mean, hopefully that's... Yeah, I mean, that sentence is probably okay. It's not why I hate... It's just maybe in a question, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a weird way to put it, but
or maybe it's asking a question because the answer is going to be reasons why. I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that generally, at the very least, this one feels like it's too much to figure out right now. Except that when you're talking about being bored, you're either in the laundry room or the bathroom on your videos. Totally. It makes no sense. I will just add a couple more before we get into the real meat of the episode, and then my power gets shut off.
Right, yeah. We got to be careful here, because if your power goes off, we'll just lose the recording, right?
No, I don't think we will. We'll be fine. I'm just going to... Yeah, I should... Yeah, whatever. We'll be fine.
Okay.
But there is... Poppy actually has a few videos about boredom.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of... And I kind of miss such a simple time when Poppy was mostly a YouTuber and not trying to be a pop star. I mean, isn't that just a backwards way of doing a trajectory? You've already made it as like a artistic YouTuber, and now you're going to try to become a pop star?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Come on.
You should talk to Titanic Sinclair or the guy from the episode earlier. I can't even remember.
That's the real guy, and
yeah.
You thought someone else was him.
The guy who looks like the darkness.
Well, she started giggling at the start. I never see her break character. Maybe this is creepy.
Sometimes life is like a roller coaster. I think that's funny.
Oh, so the laughing was maybe in character.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you're right. What a simple time. Like, Poppy feels like it happened 100 years ago.
It really does.
If you think about it long enough, time isn't exactly linear. It's more of a transparent cube with light shining through it.
That could be its own podcast, just talking over Poppy videos.
Right, yeah. That should be what we do after this. It's just, just like keep doing the same thing. Like just keep talking about whatever we fucking feel like it. But
hey, what if these interesting?
You're boring. Everybody's boring.
What if these?
I'm thankful for my friends, family.
Not wanting to interrupt her like she's really here.
You know what these Poppy videos really needed is two white bros doing shitty Mystery Science Theater commentary over time.
Right, yeah. That was definitely the final evolution of Poppy as like sort of critique of online culture.
Okay, one more thing that I'm going to play before we get to the reason we're all here, which is, of course, discussing Blink-182 at length. But this one is an original song called I'm Bored and I'm Boring Too, Maureen Van Dam. She seems to be in a more traditional living room location, not a bathroom or a laundry room. But that's sort of your original argument, is that if you're bored, then you're boring.
As the HD said themselves.
I mean, what do you? I don't know about that. Still, I think it's just like maybe it's true.
I think I just listened to that song too much, and I was like, "That's it. That's the whole deal," you know. Because even like the guy in the video who's like life was boring because he was like waking up and in his car and in a shitty job is like you can listen to podcasts in your car and then you get home. There's so many great shows that you can like steal. Well,
that's the new take now is that like we don't even give ourselves time to be bored because we're all on our screens. So that makes me think maybe it is good to be bored because the new thing is we're overstimulated.
Right.
So now it's like I feel like I don't know what side it's like margarine versus butter. I don't know which one's better.
Right, yeah. Did you grow up in a margarine household or a butter household?
I feel like it was margarine, but now it's butter.
Yeah, we same thing.
Pivoted back.
We were margarine, and I was raised to believe that butter was like basically the devil's own food stuff. And now it's like, no, if you have margarine, you're trying to like top yourself.
Right. And maybe I am. Here is Maureen Van Dam with I'm Bored and I'm Boring Too.
It's got a great title.
Why is the camera swaying?
Yeah, like she's swaying and it's sort of like is the person just sort of following her absent-mindedly?
Did she
like
attach a selfie stick to her guitar?
Makes me feel like I'm on a boat.
Yeah. I can't watch it anymore because I'm getting seasick.
Yeah, like I truly like now I have vertigo. I'm really struggling
to add to your list.
Yeah,
it's like, I feel like it's actually low key wound season for you now.
It is, yeah. It's awful.
I'm so happy to have gone through that. Okay, so this is what there are covers of this, and there are also people who've brought it upon themselves to write lyrics for the song, but I thought to myself, fuck those people. The only people that I recognize as people are the nation. And so
right.
Today I asked the nation to contribute, and I gave them very little time. And so I think I ruined a lot of people's days. But I was thinking kind of in the spirit of free punk lyrics, with something that we've plugged endlessly, more than the pod itself, despite it being sold out. This is a compilation we did because we wrote all the songs in 4 minutes or less. It's fun. It's fun to like force yourself to just sit down and write a song.
Totally.
So I said to everyone, open call. You can record it if you want, or you can just send the lyrics. Send us some lyrics. So we've got a whole bunch of lyrics for Life's So Boring that we got to get through.
Okay, great.
But I think even though it would be nice to do audio first, in the risk that my internet does get shut off soon, I'm going to do the audio. Sorry, I think it would be better to end with audio, but I'm going to do audio first because in case my internet gets shut off, I can still read the ones that I've loaded after. Good. So we're going to start with, let's see here, Casey Trimble. Also, if it's cool to plug my Twitter on the pod, and then they sent us their Twitter handle. So
but it's not cool.
Thanks for that. Casey writes, I tried to make the lyrics as incel as possible to honor the true spirit of Blink, and they've sent us an MP3, so let's hear how this goes.
I gave you everything and you threw it all away.
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
So now I'm writing poems with words I didn't say. Deception takes its toll. I'm waiting and I'm wishing for transmissions with the signals that I missed. Maybe our lines got crossed, or maybe I was blind and lost my wits when you said that you liked the Smiths. And though your shirts are Pennywise, you weren't wise enough to hide your lies or all the other guys you kissed. I guess I was an easy mark and you had me pegged from the start. Another check marked off your list. I gave you everything and it never was enough. At least when I'm with my dog, the romance hits the top. I should have known how this would end 1,000 times, and once again I found myself out on my ass. I heard the engines come to life, I saw the train with no surprise, but I stood sighing on the tracks.
Oh my fucking God.
Different girl. Different girl. Same old story. Different girl. Life is boring.
Okay.
Holy fucking shit. You have to put these all out. These all have to go.
Yeah,
like,
obviously,
You have to put these
I'll
up
put
with the
them on the
episode. They
Bandcamp.
got to go up on Bandcamp. Like, I
Yeah,
want to
they
listen
will.
to that again.
That was insane. All right, I'll read your Twitter handle because it was so good. Your Twitter handle is Shoes Robinson. So the word shoes and Robinson together at once. That was unbelievable.
That was like, Jesus.
That was too good. That was stressful. How good that was.
Holy shit. Okay, so those are all up on our Bandcamp. Like, whatever you hear from
Well,
now
yeah.
on.
I mean, let's not. I mean, soon they will be. Maybe.
Dude,
Maybe
you
not
have to
right
do
this.
it now.
I mean, I'm recording with you
Do
right
it now. This is the
gonna have
mood swings I was
power.
telling you about, Josiah.
All right. Up next, Russ writes, "My friend Derek and I wrote a song for the Life So Boring demo. They wrote the lyrics and I made the beat / sang on it. It's definitely a reimagining of the original track, but I hope it meets your criteria for the pod
so this is
because
like
it
a
was fun
cover.
AF to make.
Okay.
It's going to appear on a mixtape from their project Eichler, so that's kind of, I guess we'll allow it. So this is Life So Boring featuring Pod God 68.
So this is a premiere then. This is a track premiere.
I guess this one's a track premiere.
This is like,
My best friend, I'm sure why would be my best friend, you know, when something happens, you're the first person that
God.
I'll tell them about it.
I wanna be yours again, but I guess I'll never learn. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring. I wanna be yours again, but I guess I'll never learn. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring. Remember when we drove up and down the coast, following our favorite bands, the summer and the Warped Tour's biggest fans. Life was a little less boring, sleeping in the backseat, heads back snoring. I miss those times, and I can't rewind. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring. I never thought I would feel this way about you. I never thought I would feel this way about you. We used to be so calm, cool, and collected. We would talk shit on our friends over dramatics. And here I am, dramatically overthinking our antics. I'm just scared, I guess. Scared I'll fuck it up again. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I
Okay, I'm going to release them in full. I feel like
This is-
I'm getting scared about the power outage, so I want to keep
oh
moving.
my God. This is amazing. This is so fucking good. What the fuck?
Okay, so
What the
someone
fuck?
up next is Chris Saliza. They wrote Tough Timeline for the West Coast because I did give very stringent hours, but then I bumped up the time. So initially they had, I guess, just sang Green Day "Welcome to Paradise" over top, which is kind of the precursor
Yeah.
of the most ultimate boredom song. But then they wrote, all right, I wrote an original with the extension, so I'll paste the lyrics. I'll paste the lyrics for you as it plays, so you can read along.
Okay.
There's a lot of lyrics still to come after we hear these recordings. When my
I gotta say
power
this. I
goes
mean,
out.
I feel like credit to the lyrics. I'm excited to hear them, but I feel like, you know, now next to these like full masterpieces, like I'm sort of saying like I don't care as much about someone who only put pen to paper.
It's very disrespectful, and yet, strangely, you know what? I'm just going to chalk it up to one of your mood swings, to be honest. Here we go.
This is like one of the better ideas you've ever had.
To ask people to do free labor.
Yeah. Well, you know how I feel about the working class, so.
It's exposure. We're giving them free exposure.
Oh my God. Yeah. Change your life.
Sitting alone in my room, wondering what people do all day long. I thought suspension would be fun, but it sucks a big old slong. She said that I was too late to go out with the that I should get mom and dad to let me fuck the dog 60 hours alone with these tissues staring at the ceiling. Make me think that she wasn't wrong.
This is like
a lot of dog fucking.
Yeah, you can also tell like that there was a very Green Day version of this. They lost it, but initially, but around the time it was like very Billy Joe energy, which was cool.
Yeah.
And even if I wanted to, I wouldn't know what to do. Life's so boring when the inside of your head is as messy as your room. Yeah. And I just want my friends to tell me what to do. Can't think for myself, don't know what I like. I think I'm a tool. Don't think I like to skate. There's nothing on TV. When mom and dad get home, I know I won't be bored. At least they'll yell at me.
Oh, there's still more, but amazing. That was all the
Incredible.
lyrics. I love it. That was like some true. I would be surprised if Chris wasn't a teen, because that really captured the experience so well.
Yeah, like that definitely like reminded me of every like demo that I mean like a better version of it because it was like Blink backing it, but there was like a real perfect teen energy there.
Okay, up next we've got Cami, who contributed some wonderful spoken word previously to Free Punk Lyrics. Cami writes, "Please enjoy my spoken word art about this wonderful song that I listened to. Love you guys. Love you too, Cami. I'm so excited to hear spoken word right now."
I didn't listen to the song this week. I got a girlfriend, so I guess I'm a little too busy to be nerding out or whatever for the best Blink-182 podcast or something.
This is perfect.
I had sushi today. That was really good. It's because it's my mom's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
So that was cool. But anyways, hope you guys have a good show, and Blank 182.
Very good.
Thank you, Gary.
That was kind of the
good.
nice. That was kind of the nice side of life being boring.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, finally of the audio ones.
Okay.
David Park has sent not only is it a Dropbox file, which makes me think this is some serious shit.
He sending you the stems. You can remix it if you want.
The lyrics are handwritten in a PDF. I don't even know if I can drop a PDF into GChat right
I
now.
don't think it's possible.
I'm so impressed
so
with the
good.
quality of this. And due to the mob internet, I'm going to have to, again, I think you are right. It's going to go down a notch, possibly not. But yeah, David writes, "I'm sorry, so late and so earnest." And so here we go. Life's So Boring from David Park.
Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Pick it up. This is not waking from a bad dream, and I'm wondering what you're thinking. And life is not something that you wish for, and this is not something that you fight for. Life's so boring, time moves slow. It's
good. I sent you the lyrics because I feel like even the way that he's handwritten them feels like a Mark Hoppus impression.
Yeah, like completely. Like this looks like it could be just like a set list. Like if it was like, here's what Vegas looks like, guys. Like this is what this is.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so authentic.
Everyone is so impressive.
Like that was. I was shocked by all that. Like I know that the Nation is a talent, but like how much time?
They had I gave them like maybe 6 hours to do all this shit.
Yeah, like that's like mind blowing. Truly mind blowing.
Well, okay, there's still plenty more. So
it's gonna be a great EP, 4-song EP.
Yeah, exactly. But let's also look at some of the lyrics that were submitted. Because the assignment was not necessarily to sing, but also to submit lyrics. So these ones were submitted by good friend of the pod and of both of us, IRL, Daniel.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you read them out loud. I was thinking we could sing them to the song, but we don't have to. Like, just read them, and then I'll tell you where they're from.
That seems late. Hold on, is it sitting? Is this sitting? Because I can't tell where it's come from. What are the words that it starts with?
Wait. Oh no, yeah. Sorry, it starts with this Western. It's the last paragraph.
There we go. Okay, great. Okay, here we
go.
Okay. So this is from friend of the pod and friend IRL Daniel. This Western world is not a healthy democracy. It's all part of a kind of hell. Hungry people fighting for justice and freedom, while privileged people fight not to pay their taxes, hide their money offshore, fighting to get more rich. High school's such a drag.
So, to be fair, most of this, save for the last line, is plagiarized.
Yeah, this is.
But
so
the
what?
Source. The
What
source
is
is very funny.
Right. Okay. So
it's
this is a crib from an official tweet from the verified account of Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. Man, Pamela Anderson is really doing some interesting things right now. No matter whether or not you agree with her politics, she's really
she's out here doing it. I love it.
She's doing some Tom DeLonge vibes in a way.
Yeah, totally. She's just trying to live her truth and bring that knowledge to the people. Hard to be mad about that.
Okay, up next, Trevor Robinson writes, "Did these in free punk lyric style while at work. Respect, Trevor. That's how you should do it. Didn't have time to figure out how many verses, choruses there are on this song. Oh well." Trevor writes, "It's last call at the Pint and Pageman. My head is blank. Everything's all wrong. I walk home alone with my headphones on. Listen to Blink, all my top 5 songs. You are so far away, so far. Couldn't reach you even if I flew to the stars. I wish your love had a Patreon instead of drifting apart. I could buy access to exclusive from your heart. You are so far away, so far. Couldn't reach you even if I flew to the stars." And then the outro line is, the subtext becomes the text.
Sick. That's great.
Repeat with increasing feldy woes until the end of the song. That's awesome.
Amazing.
So
amazing.
Danny from SAC complained that there was not enough time and then did 2 submissions. I think it's fine. This is the first one. The chorus is just "Life's So Boring," which I think probably it would have been maybe
at that
in real
time.
life.
Yeah,
like it's just such a good line, as we've already established. But the verses are, "I don't want to take the time. I don't want to make a rhyme. This song is long and so am I. Just between us, that is a lie." And then verse 2 is, "I just want to skate all day. Don't want to have to pay taxes ever. I don't belong. Oops, I meant to say belong." Not wanting to pay taxes is kind of a good nod to sort of the underlying libertarianism of pop punk.
Totally, yeah. I was just thinking it was all about like Connor running for president in Succession.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, that could also be what
the energy, that's out there.
Danny's 19. I ate a little bite of my crumbly cookie again secretly, and it failed miserably.
It's like, you've been talking the whole time. What'd you eat?
I had a little piece of cookie left. I tried to sneak it.
Well,
I'm living on the edge here. My power's about to go out.
Can't sneak past me.
This is Danny's other one, and it's a sack edition, so I'll let you read this one.
You complain about boredom. Let's go see some bands play at the bar, all ages, or home show. Let's all go to Sacramento. How about a movie matinee? The Tower and Crest have it all. Or we can hang out at the river and have a bevy or two. You make the call. Life's so boring, except in Sacramento.
Really good.
That one's really good, yeah. I take back what I said about the lyrics. This is, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, okay. I'm just preloading them all because my internet's about to go out due to the mob.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there's another audio one. I better play this quickly.
Okay.
This is from Eric DeLang, and it's an M4A file, so I don't know if it'll play. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Life is boring, 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 life so boring, life so boring.
It's the constant craving hook.
Boring, life is 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 boring.
Oh, they change it up there. That's good.
Quite a good voice, actually.
Yeah. Doing the conic very well.
It sounds like The National. Or Tom York.
Yeah, totally.
Life is boring, life is boring,
It sounds so much like The National. Seriously, The National songs.
Imagine if this was how the National sounded. Dads would be so much cooler.
You know I'm not stopping this one early.
No, earlier I thought you might, and then I realized that was foolish of you to think.
Life is boring, life is boring, life is boring.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Now I definitely deserve to have my power shut down.
Yeah. They need to do this for the good of all of us.
Okay. There's a couple more here.
We can hit it. We can do it before the mob gets to you.
Rick Devine has, at least for the purpose of the song, Rick Devine from Twitter says, "I work for the To the Stars store in Encinitas under the management of David J. Matthews, not to be confused with the legendary singer-songwriter. He wrote these lyrics and asked me to send them along. Enjoy and remember to eat, drink, and be merry and shop at the To the Stars store in Encinitas, California." And now I present the lyrics. And look, there's about to be a power outage, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that these are the lyrics to All Star by Smash Mouth. So, I mean,
Okay.
I might have indulged you if I wasn't about
You would
to
have
be
read the whole
tarred and
thing,
feathered. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's keep it moving.
In this scenario, the mob is waiting for me to turn off all of my electronics, lest they break my kneecaps,
Right.
so that they can complete construction. Okay, up next. This one is for Sally. In the spirit of seeing both sides, here's one for Sally. Maybe Jake wasn't as good a father as he claims to be. This is Life So Boring by Buttermuffin 155. This one I think I'm not going to explain to those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. You need to do your fucking homework. So here's Life So Boring. Your world is a beautiful stage. Mine's just this dirty cage. I want to live outside these walls. Jake, are you there? Can you hear my calls? I'm sorry, Jake. You had to find me like that. Stiff as a board, next to that dead rat. Life's so boring. Life's so boring. Repeats on and on. Life's so boring. In a cage. All I do is eat and shed. If this is it, I'm better off dead. Life's so boring. Life's so boring. Life's so boring. In a cage. My existence was boredom and pure neglect. This is all your fault in retrospect. You could have let me out. I could have been free. Now I'm stuck here, just Robin and me. I left this earth in a blaze of glory, only to be bored in purgatory. Oh my God. Why is everything so good?
I don't understand. That was like at first I was like, oh, it's funny, it's clever, there's in jokes, and then I was like really mad at Jake. Like I was deeply emotionally invested in that song's narrative.
And it's not even a narrative; it's based on reality because Sally is stuck in Snake Purgatory
with Robin.
The watch Rip Sally gets 5,000 views. So please watch that video.
Please,
and if you know
that
the
snake
young
soul.
boy that we're referring to, if you happen to know his family, have them get in touch because we'd like to speak to him for the Snake Charmer episode, but I don't know how to reach a young boy on the internet without causing problems. And so the final one, I've saved the best for last. I have not read this yet, but in between doing this exclusive and now, I had dinner with my wife. It was the first time I've spoken to her today.
Right. For like 20 minutes, yeah.
I told her about this concept, and she volunteered to write some lyrics. So
wow.
These come from Sarah. So she's emailed them to me. I didn't want to see them until I was live on the pod. She's written, rough draft, and also... I wrote this from the perspective of their brains at the time the demo came out.
Okay.
No singing until the drums come in. So yeah, she was telling me earlier she wanted it to be really dim-witted was her adjective. So here's her lyrics. Bored out of my mind, need to get out. San Diego sucks. Suburbia is hell. I need to be free. I need to be outside. If you need me, I'll be at the mall. She wrote hell with the mall. Life's so boring, life's so boring, life's so boring. I sit around all day. Life's so boring, life's so boring, life's so boring. Kill me if you may. I think this is around the time I realized there was going to be a power outage and I needed to get our one computer back because it sort of ends with a repeating chorus, but it goes, let's go, let's forget now, let's go. Don't look back now. I need you. We still have time. And then that repeats at the end.
Oh.
In a way, this might be the new mode of communication that I have with my wife now that I'm trapped in this project.
Yeah, only through lyrics written to Blink-182 instrumentals.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's it, I think.
So, Josiah, what are your final thoughts on the song Life's So Boring by All of the Nation?
I will say this. I loved every single contribution for its own way, for its own reason. The very first one, that person was doing like a truly remarkable impression of everyone.
Yeah.
And with like that fake Mark Hoppus voice over top, I was like kind of blown away by how good the song was.
Yeah, I wish that this was a real song and that's how it sounded. And that's why I'm never bored.
I gave you everything and you threw it all away. So now I'm writing poems with words I didn't say. Deception takes its toll, I'm waiting and I'm wishing for transmissions with the signals that I missed. Maybe our lines got crossed, or maybe I was blind and lost my wits when you said that you liked the Smiths. And though your shirt said Pennywise, you weren't wise enough to hide your lies or all the other guys you kissed. I guess I was an easy mark and you had me pegged from the start, another check marked off your list.
Welcome to Blink 155. Today we've got Berto from calling in from Boston over here.
What's up?
But you're perhaps better known, I think, as Haha, Let's Chill.
Yeah, I run a moderately popular Instagram page that makes me no money at all, but it's fun to fuck around.
Yeah, so. I feel like you didn't really, because I've been following you for a while, and you didn't really seem to like pivot into the extreme branding of Instagram pages.
No, I just like to make dumb images.
Like, do you even own a pair of Yeezys? Come on.
No, I just bought a pair of Adidas sneakers at Nordstrom Rack, and they are killing my feet, man.
Really?
Oh, they're murdering my feet. I've always been a New Balance guy, and because they always have like the extra wide shoes, but these ones are like I got like an extra size bigger too, and they're crushing my feet. It's like that.
I thought because aren't New Balance like canceled? I remember it was one of those things where like New Balance did something bad.
Yeah, I think they donated some money to some like Republican guys or something. I have no idea. I just know that the only shoes that like normally fit my feet.
Yeah.
And if the price is right, like I'll buy something made by like a small child in a sweatshop.
Well, I'm pretty sure that, unless you're wearing like the Adbuster sneakers that you probably don't even know about, because I get the impression you're too young. But, you know, there's not very many sneakers that you can buy that are not inherently evil.
Okay, buddy, how old do you think I am?
I was just thinking about black spot sneakers yesterday, and I was thinking, you know, I don't see a lot of memes about Adbuster's black spot sneakers.
I don't know what those are, but that's probably just because I'm out of the loop. It's not because I'm like, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, you're older than me.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I fucking knew it. You just wanted me to admit it on air.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm less than 30, but over 28.
Okay.
So
I think the people at home can figure that out for themselves.
Yeah.
Something I really like about having you on. Well, first of all, I gotta say, of the memers we've had, you've got a lot of charisma on mic. A lot of them, I'm like, okay, I see why these people work in text and images mostly.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I've met a lot of people from the internet, and I don't know. A lot of them are like weird nerds, and a lot of them are like super cool individuals. I don't think I'm like either one of those.
You think you're kind of in between? You're a little bit of a weird nerd.
Yeah, I'm probably a weird nerd. I mean, I make dumb memes on the internet.
Yeah, and you didn't even sell out with it.
Does that? Yeah, well, you know, I made like a t-shirt design.
Oh my god.
And
it's over.
Yeah. I'm done, man. I'm a sellout.
But the thing is that you were saying is I think you've never listened to a podcast before. Is that what you said?
Not even one in my entire life. I'm sorry, I've never listened to yours.
Well, yeah, thank you for apologizing. It's very disrespectful. You come into my house and you
don't
even know.
Come into your empty ass house.
Yeah, with the boom, and you don't even take your new Adidas off.
Josiah. What's up?
But like, tell me, like, what do you? I'm just curious, kind of, maybe ours, but also in general. No, let's just do ours. Having never heard a podcast before, what do you think? Like, tell me what you think an episode of Blink-155 is like.
I mean, from what you've described to me, you listen to a song, and sometimes it's a good one, sometimes it's a really shitty one. I guess they have 155 songs, which is weird that you counted that, but that's fine. And you talk about it, and then you just shoot the BS around, you know?
Right. I mean, you've nailed it. But I guess so then tell me what you think like Serial is like. I'm just curious, like what someone who's never heard a podcast before. It's like your that Brendan Fraser movie where he was living in a basement. I've never seen it actually, but you know, Blast from the Past. Like it's kind of like you've just woken up and you are aware of podcasts, but you don't get what they are.
Well, I know I get what they are. They're people just talking. I mean, a lot of my friends listen to the Come Town one, and It's just a bunch of like balls jokes, and like that's fine. I like balls jokes. I like dick jokes. I like pussy jokes, boob jokes, all that stuff.
Very open-minded.
Yeah, but like you know, I like that stuff when I'm like hanging out with friends. I don't know the appeal of like just hanging out and listening to that. Also, I'm like more of a visual guy. I like to like watch people talk about stuff more than I like to listen to it, but that's personally just me. My grandmother had me grow up on like listening to NPR and like All Things Considered, and like, you know, it's fine. I'm definitely going to listen to this one. So
amazing. Well, yeah you gotta. It's a very weird experience to listen to yourself for the first time. I don't know. I mean, I think you're going to realize that you have some charisma, and you're going to leave it with like some confidence here.
I don't know about that. I'll probably hate it, but it's fun, and I'm just glad that you taking time out of your day to talk to me. You know, that's tight.
Hell yeah. Okay, so before we get into the song this week, tell me about your journey with. I mean, even your journey with music. Like, what are you into, and sort of how did you arrive at like your specific meme craft?
Okay, so my first CD ever was the Eiffel 65 I'm Blue CD, but it was like the full album. So it had like 6 remixes of I'm Blue and like another song that wasn't that good. And then I figured out that I could just steal CDs from my brother. And so he had he had Running with Scissors by Weird Al, which was life-changing. And he had Enema of the State. And I was like 11 years old or something when I like started listening to the radio because I was kind of growing up like religious or whatever.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna get to that in a second.
For sure, it's a long story, but either way, I heard like all the small things on the radio, and I saw that he had the CD, and I was like, oh damn, this girl's got titties on the cover. So I obviously like jacked off to the cover like a million times.
What is this, and
okay, listen, I can't make one jacking off joke. It's not even a joke. It's just real life.
It's a fact. It's a jack fact.
Yeah, but then I it was the first album that I had ever heard with swears, and I listened to it on like my clock radio that had a built-in CD player, and I just listened to it until I couldn't listen to it anymore. And it's still like probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
And then then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was like when I first like started to play guitar. Those were like the first songs that I learned, and that was when I was like 12, 13. Sick. And that's how like I started getting into, like playing music and shit, which,
And yeah, so what kind of music did you end up playing, and like what are you into now?
What I like to listen to is like riffs and like Rihanna.
Sick.
I like sick guitar solos, and I like Rihanna and like Sean Kingston.
Love Kiss It Better, because that really combines with both.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. There's also a song that she does called My California King Bed, and it has like a ripping guitar solo.
Sick.
It's actually not that much of a good song. It actually kind of sucks, but the guitar solo in it is pretty dope. And and it kind of combines like, the best of both worlds. I like shitty 80s metal too. I like
Hell yeah.
stuff. What do you like besides this?
Nothing. I don't know. No, I don't know. Like for me, this podcast is a lot about like becoming too cool for blank and being thinking that you're like, I'm a real punk, and then like getting older and then being like, oh wait, I actually love all that shit still.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I like at a certain point when I like started to like play guitar, I started like listening to like a lot of metal stuff, and I was like, Blink is like super weak. It's like they don't even do any cool riffs or cool guitar solos. And then it all came back to me like 10 years later, and I was like, this is the fucking shit, man.
I think it happens to everyone. I mean, how can you fight it off?
Yeah.
Okay, but before we keep talking about Blink, I do want to know, I mean, as much or as little as you want to tell me about having a religious upbringing, because that's, as you can tell by my name, my experience as well. And so I grew up like in a very Christian home, and I learned about punk music through like MXPX and stuff before I learned about Blink-182.
Okay. Weird story. My mom was in like this weird polygamous cult thing when I was a very small child, and then she like bounced to be in it, and then my dad's response to that was like, let's convert to Judaism. So we all converted to Orthodox Judaism, and that's how I was like raised until I was like 14, and I was like, fuck you, Dad, I'm not keeping Shabbos anymore. And and then
so it's not like there was like a polygamous cult alternative music industry. There was no Tooth and Nail Records for the polygamous cult.
No. To be honest, like thankfully, I've repressed most of that side, like successfully that part of my life. So most of what I remember is just like the Jewish stuff.
Yeah,
and like I have no like ill feelings towards religion in general. I mean, a lot of people who are like raised super Christian or like super anti-religion, anti-Christian and stuff, and it's just like I have no problem with that. I think that like the culture around it is beautiful. Obviously, none of the hateful parts are cool; those suck. Right. But there's parts of that to like every extreme religion. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I was raised.
Interesting. That's fascinating. Yeah. So, I mean, that must have also, in some ways, like influenced your experience of culture. Like, if maybe you were sheltered from certain things until later on. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I had to like secretly listen to all the outside world music until I was like 13, 14, 15.
And so when you were talking about Enema of the State, that was a secret contraband thing, or that was after the rebellion?
Oh my God. If my dad found that like album cover lying around, he would have fucking slapped my shit up.
Right.
Not that I have like an abusive dad, but I mean, you know, he definitely give me a little potch.
Yeah, right. A corrective, from his perspective, corrective tap.
For sure. Yeah, a little tap. Exactly.
So, Enema is clearly your album. This is, well, you don't even know this because you don't know a podcast, but I'm about to accidentally do a Mark Maron thing and say, who's your guy? Who's your guy from Blink-182? Are you a Mark or a Tom?
So, it's a hard question because I really like what Mark has just stayed as. He's just kind of always been the same dude.
Right.
But like that Enema era, like Tom, where he was still making like dog cum jokes and still having like the little lip ring thing. And I don't know, I thought that was like my favorite guy.
Right.
That's the guy I wanted to be.
Yeah. And
then like Mark is just, you know, he's just always been the same ass dude. Travis, who gives a shit? I mean, he's fine. But like, it's not like I watched his reality show or anything.
Oh, really? I mean, I feel like of all people, because you were telling me that you were just going to finish an episode of Jersey Shore before we set it up. I feel like you would definitely.
Which, by the way,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Can I just interrupt for 1 second and say that the situation has been released from jail today?
Oh my God, that's huge!
Yeah,
so
monumental.
Oh my God, what?
A 9/11 miracle, dude.
What's going to happen now?
I don't know. He's going to live his best life. But yeah, as you were saying.
You think he's going to... Was it because of tax evasion? Is that right?
Yeah, he did the Wesley Snipes.
Oh, fuck.
Did the old sniper.
I feel like they should just be allowed to get away with it. I mean, if you're the situation, come on. He's debased himself enough.
Yeah, fuck. I've been getting away with it. I mean, I'm not in the millions, but fuck. You think I've filed for taxes in like the last 5 years?
All the money from your T-shirt that you released.
Yeah. Oh my God! Actually, can we delete that later? No, I'm kidding. I don't care. Come after me, bro.
Come at you. I mean, you have a very daunting avatar on Skype. It's very, very like libertarian vibes with the rifle. So I feel like the taxman's going to be afraid of you.
It's a crossbow, and the crossbow is non-functioning. It was found in the trash, and other than that, everything about it is real. I do drink 40s and I do smoke Newports. But I don't have a functioning crossbow.
Oh, my illusion is shattered.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I had this image of you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, where were we? Okay, so you're talking about then. What about now? Like, who do you side with in the Great War between like Mark staying the same? I would argue that's almost more strange than being an alien explorer.
Okay, true. He is like fucking what, like 45, 50?
Yeah, he's like 47.
Yeah, okay. That's a little old. And like honestly, like bro, just hang up the name. Hang up the Blink-182 name.
Yeah.
You could just start another band.
Just do like Mark Hoppus.
Yeah, Tom's done it like twice, 3 times.
Totally.
And you know what? One of them has been pretty okay. And then, you know, whatever.
You talking Boxcar or
AVA? That was the last good thing that Blink-182 did. Maybe besides self-titled, but
okay.
I'm one of those guys.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, I think Boxcar and self-titled is really teetering on the edge of poo-poo and doo-doo. Yeah, I don't know.
Amazing. Now, when you say that, do you mean it's teetering on the edge that separates poo-poo from doo-doo?
No. Poo-poo and doo-doo are synonymous things. They both mean crap, feces. Right. But it's just like the last thing that I could like sort of listen to.
Right.
I listened to some of the Matt Skiba stuff, and I was like, this sucks. Except for that they had that like one song about building a pool and like looking at naked dudes, and I was like, okay, that's kind of classic. But other than that, I'm just not into it.
I like it. It's so nice to speak to someone who is unaware of podcasting at large, and B, has this sort of like grounded in realism take on Blink-182 that I'm so severely lacking now at this point in my life.
Yeah, fucking Matt Skiba can pound sand, bro. Which also, along with podcasting, I just learned the term pound sand, and I love it.
What is it? Does it mean put your dick in fuck sand?
Yeah, to go fuck the dirt.
Wow, it's
amazing.
That's
I love
beautiful. I've never heard that before either, and I love it as well. So thank you. Yeah. I think you were born to incredible. You were born to pod.
I mean, everyone and their fucking grandma wants to start a podcast.
I think they should. I think you should start one with your grandma.
Dude, both my grandmas are dead, so thanks. Thanks for reminding me.
I did know that, and that's why I said it. So
okay.
I did my research.
Oh my God, you looked up my Wikipedia page?
Looking at genealogy in the Boston area. It's taken me. I told you I had to work late, but that's what I was working on. That's why
you're looking for my grandma's obituary in fucking Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so wait, I have another question. This is something we've never talked about before. I don't know if you're going to know anything, but I'm ready to plant the seed so we can start thinking about this as a community. Who the fuck are the other people in the Enema of the State liner notes? There's all these other dudes with tons of tattoos.
Okay, so they must be their friends,
right? But
I'm assuming that they have other friends besides the three of them,
besides each other,
because otherwise they'd be big fucking losers. And I don't have it on hand, although I should, because I was supposed to come down here and talk about that album with you. But
yeah, what the fuck, dude?
I'm in a musty basement and I'm losing oxygen, bro. I'm not thinking straight. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't there there's a little person and there's a really big person and then there's a bunch of normal looking people.
Yeah, they loved that juxtaposition of sizes back then. That was pretty much the best joke you could make in 1999.
Yeah. And it was just all dudes and they're all lining up to get fingers in the butthole from that chick who got totally arrested on some drug charges.
Yeah, she's had a real life since then.
Yeah, she's had a rough life.
But she's still killing it, and she even wished them a happy anniversary of the album recently.
Oh, that's fucking heartwarming, man.
But it's just weird. It was weird to think about how she definitely didn't get royalties for that album, and everyone bought it. Well, I would just assume. Do you think you get royalties for being in a photo?
For being the most iconic album cover of all time.
I kind of doubt it. I feel like the royalties just went to Tom and Mark.
So are you guys going to do an investigative episode?
Yeah, I think we will have to eventually talk to her. I love doing that kind of stuff. I actually talked to the people who did the Garnier Fructis campaign with the transplant song. I don't know if you remember that shampoo commercial.
Okay, so is that as close as you've come to behind the scenes Blink people, or have you gone deep?
No, no, dude, you gotta catch up here. There's a lot that has happened, but
how many episodes have you had so far?
I think this is 114 or something. But they're releasing a new album this week in the next week, so we got a 15 episode order, so to speak, from them releasing new songs. So we there's time for you to catch up if you want.
I heard a leaked song from it, and it is something else, buddy. It's some Imagine Dragons bullshit.
Dude, we have literally had the singer of Imagine Dragons on this podcast.
You're shitting my dick out. You're not saying the truth right now, man.
I was being mean to him on Twitter, and he started talking back to me, and I said, do you want to talk about this on my Blink-182 podcast? And not only did we talk about it, but he shared his childhood ska song with us, and he's my friend now. So...
My God, this is incredible.
I've become pro Imagine Dragons, and everyone's sick of me talking about it, but I'll talk about it for the end of time because it's my friend's band. Don't talk shit on my friend's band.
Okay, so are we friends now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Is
absolutely.
it too early for me to ask that, or
are you friends with me or with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons? Because I could make it happen, possibly.
Ooh, by the transitive property, buddy. Me and that guy know the same dude who does a pod.
Exactly.
And we might be boys now.
Exactly, dude. Stop talking shit. Stop talking shit.
All right.
But we're not here to talk about New Blink. We're here to talk about... So we're almost out of Enema of the State songs. And Aliens Exist is reserved for a little man named Tom DeLonge. Hoping we can get him on that episode.
What were the other ones? Is that the only one that you
The only
had?
other one that's left is Going Away to College, but like that one has so much lore around it that we're not ready to do it yet because we've just been talking about it for the whole time, and it's just there's a lot of weight on it because early on in the pod, Sam said Going Away to College seems disingenuous because they're too old to be singing about that stuff, and then a bunch of people got really mad and said they should, it's actually a really sincere song. Don't be such a dick. They should be allowed to talk about their locker. But it's like Mark was like fucking already hella old to be saying.
Or were they like 28, something like that?
Yeah, they're like probably your age.
Okay.
Which is still young in my eyes, but
yeah, for the ripe old age of 34, that's pretty young.
What do you?
Yeah, I don't know. That's fine. You give me like the worst, like shittiest B-side of the whole album.
Well, you can talk about the album though. I mean, what's your jam on there?
I mean, I like literally every single one. To be honest, my least favorite one is Mutt.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. How come?
And it's not that I don't like the song. It's just that of all the songs, if I like had to throw one into the ocean to never listen to again, that would probably be the one. But I still like it.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but the last show I ever played was a Halloween cover set where we were Blink-182, and we did a Man Overboard cover. We did like 3 songs from Enema. We did Happy Holidays. We did like 3 or 4 songs from Dude Ranch and a couple from Carousel. And then that's it. Because that's, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I will really go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I feel that way about Dude Ranch, is that like the songs that I don't like are just because I would have to pick a least favorite. But to me, Dude Ranch is like perfect front to back still.
I 1,000% agree with you. I also agree that it's a perfect album, but I think Enema just had more of an impact on my life because it was like the first one that I listened to.
Although I've also grown to really hate All the Small Things a lot.
Sure, I also did, but now when I listen to the record in sequence, it just fits there and it needs to be there. And without that, it's just not the same thing.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Fair. Look, I get it. But unfortunately, we are here to talk about... I'm surprised that you hate this so much because I think it's very interesting. If you care about Enema of the State, you can see this song that could have been.
Okay, so I was thinking about it, and first of all, this is a demo, right?
Yeah.
So this is probably Scott Rayner on drums, right?
It's not, although there's some debate, but I think we've determined Scott was out of the band and Travis was in by the time they recorded it, although Scott is credited on the American Songwriters page as being a writer. So I think probably he wrote it, but then they kicked him out, Man Overboard, and then Travis recorded it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was recorded on your podcast through Skype.
Right.
Through a potato microphone.
Very rude. Very I've got this warm room reverb going on here, and you're going to disrespect me like this.
No, you know what? To be honest, I don't know what I sound like right now, but it probably doesn't sound great because my lungs are filling with mold.
Yeah, it's a pretty moldy demo, to be honest. You're right.
Yeah. So how do we do this? Are you going to like play it?
We do
over
nothing.
Skype?
We've already played it. This is going at the end of the episode. It's the final thoughts about it. Just give me what are you thinking about it?
Okay, so I've only listened to it once, and so far it's just it sounds like something that I would write at like 13 after just hearing Blink-182 for like the very first time, and like because it's like very formulaic. If you've heard any other Blink-182 song, it sounds just like every single other one of them.
Yeah,
and it's it's fun. To be honest, it's better than any of the Matt Skiba stuff.
Well, okay. The fucked up thing is that in the regular part of the episode, we had some of our listeners write their own lyrics for it because there's no lyrics, obviously.
Oh, I was thinking of doing that, and then I didn't think of anything like clever enough.
Right, but there's somebody. I mean, a bunch of people also recorded them and submitted them. There's one dude that submitted one who does a perfect Mark Hoppus impression.
Oh my God!
I'll send it to you later. But my point is, hearing that over top of it, it instantly is elevated to like being a next level song. And it made me realize, like, I bet you if you stripped away the vocals on most Blink-182 songs, it would sound like generic HGTV commercial music or whatever.
Okay, you're probably right. But they do have a lot of songs that are like very sick instrumentally.
Yeah.
Especially on Enema.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, if you were to like strip down fucking Going Away to College? What would that be?
I mean, even if you strip down Aliens Exist, that is a super generic sounding pop punk song.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But so maybe what happened was they were like, oh, this instrumental is too boring. Let's fucking up the ante. And then, I mean, I think Dumpweed is on the demo, but to me, Dumpweed is where they're like at their most proficient on this album, maybe.
Yeah, the song rules.
What about the phrase? Like, something I love about this song is that it's called "Life's So Boring," and just thinking about this like suburban punk band and just the obsession with life being boring.
Oh, growing up in beautiful San Diego, it's fucking boring. All we get to do is smoke pot and fuck chicks. Yeah, so fucking boring.
You've written the lyrics perfectly.
Yeah, there you go. Should be called "Songs So Boring."
Oh, come on.
You told me to save that joke for the pod.
Yeah, you did write that to me, and
earlier.
I said, that's the caliber of humor that we expect on mic, my friend. So I'm glad that you... you don't seem like the kind of guy who gets bored very often.
I'm super bored all the time. That's why I'm constantly staring into my dumbass phone. Making dumbass shit.
Right.
But I mean, I find stuff to do. I mean, I still practice playing guitar. I'm trying to play a Scorpion song right now. It's fucking hard as shit.
Oh shit. Do you use tabs or what do you do?
No, I just, I realized that if you, like YouTube has a option to slow down songs without changing the pitch. Oh, and if you get like a good guitar cover from like some YouTube guitar player and they like, have the whole fretboard and stuff, like you can just like kind of figure it out if you play it at like 25% speed.
Amazing.
And still I'm not like a master shredder by any means. So this is like, it's really taking a toll on my hands, but it's something to do, man.
I feel like that's going to be my next Blink-182 thing is like, I've been so angry at guitar ever since I gave up on guitar lessons and pretended that I only wanted to play music for like the feel or something. But maybe as I get older, my midlife crisis will be that I'm going to get really into like shredding and tabs and learning scales again and stuff.
Okay, so tabs are stupid, and doing it the way that I do it is the best way. And also, another thing is like, unless you're doing like something stupid, complicated, like, ear training is the way to go. You can do any Blink song just listening to it enough times.
Oh, absolutely. But like I want to like get back into doing like pinch harmonics and stuff.
Oh, that's my shit. I love that.
That. I mean, I remember being really into guitar lessons and being like super gung-ho. And I think I even brought this up last week, but my guitar teacher then was like, okay, I want you to learn this Dream Theater song. And I was like, okay, fuck this. I quit. I'm not going to do this.
That shit's for fucking nerds, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, now you got me wanting to shred. Okay, before I let you go, what do you want to plug?
What do I want to plug?
Yeah, anything.
Nothing. I mean, I don't have like anything to plug. Let me think.
I think you want to plug the Berto method of guitar lessons.
Oh, so actually I do have on my Instagram, on Instagram TV, which is like that thing that you have to like swipe up into like that extra little icon. I do guitar lessons. And I think I do a pinch harmonic episode in there. I think I have like 3 or 4 episodes.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So if I don't, I have at least like 3, and they're all just different techniques, and there are ways to do them super badly, playing very stupid songs that are bad to play.
Who's your favorite guitarist?
My favorite guitarist? Recently, I've been listening to a lot of this band called the John Bonet.
Okay.
And this guy named Dan Miller is the guitar player. And to be honest, he's not doing anything special. But I just like his riffs so much.
Amazing.
Also, this little guy called Tom DeLonge.
It's honestly like it's so easy to rag on Tom when you watch live videos, especially, but he's an amazing guitarist and his tone is so good.
Okay, so you've obviously watched that like hour and a half documentary on YouTube, like the In Search of Tone or whatever. It's like sponsored by Ernie Ball.
Yeah.
Where he's just like he's like playing all the Blink riffs for like 20 seconds, and then he's just like, "Here are some children's books. I wrote them," and like goes off.
I love when he's like back. He's like, in that garage is where I did chewing tobacco for the first time.
That's where I did my first grizzly wintergreen long cut. Fucking gross, dude. Don't tell us about that. Yeah, but I mean, like he's got some good shit. He's got like all the Boxcar Racer guitar riffs are pretty sick.
Tom
and yeah, and I like live. Yeah, not great. Not super good at all.
I think it's because they need a second guitarist. Like, it's not fair for him to be doing all that shit at once.
Okay, but you know what I like about it though is that he's actually playing because he fucks up.
Yeah, true.
It's not like when you go see like Green Day and they have like the fourth guitarist behind the curtain or whatever playing like On Holiday. Yeah, like he's not playing shit. He's just having meltdowns on the stage.
Oh, have you listened to the new Green Day song, or did you see the album cover?
No, but what is it? Is it like Trump related?
No, it's even worse. They're doing like sort of like a mod Motown thing where it's like they're like, rock and roll has lost its balls. There's like a drawing of a unicorn on the cover. Also, it's like random kind of. It's really hard to sum up in words, but it's very exciting.
It's so random. We got a unicorn on the front of our cover.
Well, it's been wonderful having you here. I'm so glad that you know all about podcasting now, and I look forward to hearing the podcast that you start with your grandma.
I've learned so much. My dead grandma, both of them. Thanks, dude.
Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring. Take me back now, life's so boring. Can I get back now, life's so boring.
There's one final thing that needs to be said. There's someone entering the Dirty 30, so to speak, this weekend. I want to shout out the original blaster of the pod, Tyler a.k.a. Happy birthday, homie. I'm so sorry that there's no blast beats on the new Blink album, but we wish you all the best, bud. Happy birthday from the nation.